Bruce, was it just a simple case of not finishing your opportunities tonight?
No, I think we didn't defend well enough personally, first period. You know, we had a misplay of a puck early on. It happens to anybody. You know, you'd like to be able to put a fire out, defend the 2-on-1 better or get a save. But at the end of the day, they make a good play from it. But from there, we didn't defend the front of our net. The next two goals, we had people around the front of the net, and we turned away or didn't tie up. So I look at it, that was our major issue. Of course, you got to score at some point, but if we take care of business there, it's a 1-1 game. We got one back, so we'd be fine, and then you just play. So,
Anthony?
Bruce, you talked about wanting a more intense start and more intensity sustained throughout the game. Do you feel, you know, that's obviously a point, but at this point the fixes may have to go beyond that?
You lost me there. What's your?
You know, you said that you wanted more intensity
Yes.
from this team, but do you feel like the changes might have to go? You know, you guys might need more than just that.
Well, as I just said, we need to defend better, and part of that is intensity, in my estimation, urgency. Pick your word. We didn't have it. You know, you got to manage the puck first, and then once you don't have it anymore, you got to have a certain level of structure and urgency to get it back. And you know, we didn't. And then, you know, as the game went along, I think the will is there with the group. I don't doubt that. They're trying to be physical. They're trying to play hard. But at the end of the day, we made some mistakes in front of our net that we got to get back to, okay, what's made us successful and play smart hockey, and then the intensity will come because the group has a lot of will. So I think we put one in front of the other, forgot to play a little bit.
In the middle?
Just how much wind did it take out of your sails when Grzelcyk lost the puck there and they scored off of that?
I don't think as much as everyone else thinks. I mean, it's not good, obviously, but we've come back a lot. We've been a team that I think we won, I don't know, we've given up the first goal and won probably maybe 18 games this year, so this is nothing new. I mean, you got to play through that. I mean, it doesn't help. It gives the other team a boost, but you still got, 50-some minutes left. The crowd, there's going to be a lull, but you got to go get it back in terms of the enthusiasm of the crowd. Get it behind you, but you know, now they score right away again because we're not hard enough in front of our net. We need to tie up sticks. So now that's a problem. You know, now it's 2-0. We got half of that back, and then again we're not hard enough in front of our net. So now it's 2 goals again. So I think the second and third goal to me are much worse in terms of, you know, losing our. What was the word you used? Losing our zip, or you know, whatever word you used.
The wind out of your sails.
Yeah, took the wind out of our sails. I'd say the third goal did more than anything. Even the second one, we got half of that back on the power play.
Jimmy?
Coach, first, Adam McQuaid okay? I noticed his minutes went down a lot.
No, he's fine.
Okay. Just in terms, you mentioned the front of the net, but what did you think just of the neutral zone, and did your team seem a bit fatigued to you at all?
I don't know if fatigue's the right word. Some players played a lot of minutes. I think we looked slower than them, is a word I would use. They are a fast team, so we expect them to play fast. I just think we're not supporting each other quick enough and then making the appropriate play with the puck to appear faster. It seems like it's getting turned over and coming back at us. So all of a sudden now you're chasing it all the time. Well, you expend more energy defending, and that was an issue in Game 2. Game 1, we'll write it off because you have a lead, so you're going to be a little more cautious. But the last 2 games, we didn't play enough for our game. They've played their game better than we've played ours, and they've won both games. So I would use the word we were slow at times and stubborn. I think we got to manage the puck better and put it in places and play the game in front of you instead of forcing plays against a team that can transition quick and reload well. You know, once the puck gets turned over, they're working hard to get back up ice. So we got to make sure we're making the right plays, knowing that that's happening, and not get stripped and things like that have been happening to us too much, or allowing them to get back in the play, turn it back over, and now we're caught up ice and we're out of sync.
Tara, then Fluto.
In your comments from yesterday, you talked about starting faster, which I think you've touched on a little bit. Were you satisfied with the way the team started? Did you see what you wanted, or do you still think that needs to be better, and if so, why or what?
Well, first of all, we gave up an early goal, so that's not a good, I think, you start, you're playing behind their D. We had a little bit of, we were going, and then, we make a mistake with a puck that we don't keep out of our net. So that's not a good start. And then the next time, we lose a face-off in the O zone and we don't tie up. So, no, we didn't start the way we needed to at all. It's one thing to give up zone time, but you got to defend better. Like I said, the first mistake, it's not great, but you should be able to overcome that. It can happen to anybody. I mean, you lost a puck, it bounced funny. The other two, like I said, we need to be harder, and that's an area that, will be addressed tomorrow, and hopefully, if we want to win hockey games, we're going to have to be better on Friday. There's no doubt.
Last two.
Bruce, overall, how do you think your breakouts were tonight? Were they good enough for you to
No,
get the forwards
not
up?
good enough. And again, part of that, I think Fluto is not having the urgency to get moving up ice. They reload well, and they're able to influence it pretty well that way. So we just have to execute better, within the abilities of the player, and support it better, and then not turn it over so we're having to break it out a second time after we do it the first time successfully. So not good enough, and that usually when I personally see with our team a shot clock that's imbalanced, it usually means, okay, what happened in the special teams? I mean, we only had 29 seconds of power play time, so we're not going to generate as much as them, and whatever they had, 4, 5, 6 chances. So then I look at the management of the puck starting from the breakout. If you're breaking out well, you're out of your end, probably not giving up a lot of shots. So to me, it wasn't good enough.
Steve, last one.
Bruce, how concerned are you with the struggles of the third line, and can it get better without any personnel changes?
Well, Steve, that's a good question. I am concerned, and we always look at, we've got, some guys that weren't dressed tonight that have played well for this team. So we'll have that conversation tomorrow. I think it's easier to do it the next morning than it is immediately after the game. And some guys have had a tough time that we need, whether they stay in or not. If they stay in, obviously they need to be better. A lot of discussion yesterday. The question centered around secondary scoring. That matters, but if you're not bringing that, we've talked about this. If you don't have your A game, so to speak, bring your B game. Well, you got to defend better, and that's where my issue lies. You need to bring something else to the table, and then eventually the scoring will come if you're a guy that scored in this league. I believe that, and I think that's where fundamentally we're missing out on some of the players we rely on.